today just happens to be my birthday. So I don't know if it's wrong to wish yourself a happy birthday, but I'm gonna wish myself a happy birthday. And all the other people whose birthdays are today or this month. So if you're a September baby, then happy birthday. We're going to be celebrating today in a number of ways. I got to send a shout out to my wife, to Marquita. I got a really nice birthday present, a record player, a phonograph. You know, most of us now actually just stream our music. All those CDs that I bought, I don't know. Basically, most of them are out in the garage in a file drawer, so I don't use them. To play a CD, I'd have to play it on my DVD player associated with the TV. But music is just so easy to get now. You just get it on your phone. You know, Spotify, iTunes. So everything is streaming now. But it was just something to be able to hear that kind of crisp crackle sound of the needle hitting the wax this morning. So we've been up this morning jamming to some old Motown, taking me back. Good morning, Tamika. Just reminiscing, getting some old Motown going, and that was fun. So thank you for a record player. That's going to be fun. And the thing about record players now, at least this one, is from what I understand, it also has a Bluetooth feature. So wow, you know, we can take technology and pretty much do anything with it. So, you know, I'm planning on having a really good time today, planning on doing a lot of stuff, just including a couple of things. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, I'll be celebrating not only my birthday, but doing a Minority Enterprise Development Week program, MedWeek. MedWeek is celebrated every year about this time of year, and it celebrates minority-owned businesses. And all of you know that I've always been about trying to help grow and elevate businesses owned by people of color, quote unquote minorities and other disadvantaged groups. And so MedWeek was started by the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency, promoted it. I've been involved in it for years. So I'm going to do a workshop today. And it's why, when, how, and who to start a business. So why start a business, when to start a business, how to start a business, and who can help. So, you know, if you've got folks out there, it's absolutely free. You can get it on here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel too. I'm trying to build up some subscriptions and have people subscribe to the channel. So, you know, if you get a chance, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would appreciate it if you did that. But good morning, Tora. How are you? I really wish you would subscribe. Thank you for all of the folks that are following me on all kinds of social media. You know, we're on LinkedIn. I got a really good lead yesterday off LinkedIn. A really good, I think, a potential client that's going to be someone that not only we can help, and that's what we do. A good client to me is somebody I can help get financing. But I got that off LinkedIn. I've actually made some really good contacts and people that are still involved in things that I'm doing that, you know, are on and were on LinkedIn and got them from LinkedIn. So the social media is really, really working really well. So follow me on that. I'm on Twitter at B Dickerson Jr. So I want to tell you that. So Benny Waters, good morning. How you doing out there, Benny? Benny and I went to high school together, played football together. Good to see you. So follow me on that at B Dickerson Jr. on Twitter, and of course, for all of my Facebook friends, you know that we're doing that. So we're going to do that this evening, and of course, on an hour after that, or immediately when that ends, you can tune in to the Voice America Radio Network, www.voiceamerica.com, and tune in to In the Black, and hear me go on for about an hour about a few things. So got a lot of stuff going. Happy to see you out there. You know, there's so many things happening in the news. Hey, the Nuggets beat the Clippers last night, if you're a basketball fan. And so I guess it's going to be what, the Nuggets and the Lakers in the Western Finals, and of course you've got Miami and the Celtics. Boy, Miami really came from, I don't even know if they made the playoffs last year, and here they are in the finals. So hats off to the Heat. First time they've done anything since LeBron left, I'm sure. So it'd be interesting to see LeBron's Lakers against the Heat in the NBA final. I think that might generate some interest. So we saw that, and I am so ready for Alabama football to start. Football started. I watched a little bit of the games. Didn't really get into them as much. So a lot of that, our prayers are going out for the people. Hurricane Sally hit Gulf Coast this morning, hit Gulf Shores actually about an hour ago. And so our prayers go out to all of the people who are going to be in the path of Hurricane Sally. I understand it's going to be a tremendous amount of rain because it's such a slow moving system. And so just, if you got friends and relatives in that area that didn't get out and that are hunkering down, just say a prayer for them. Also the folks up in the Rocky Mountain area, Northern California, Washington, Oregon, and other places where we've got just a large number of fires, wildfires, and AVET. So we know no matter what the people in Washington and some folks want to say, and some of the naysayers about global warming, we know that it has occurred, it is occurring. And we also know that if we don't take care of this earth, it's not going to take care of us and our children and our grandchildren. So I think it's very important that we become, as people, more aware of the fact that this earth is a living organism. You know, the earth is alive, and it's going to react to what we do to it. And if we do the wrong things to it, then it's going to do things to us. And I'm not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but I am realistic, and I can think, and I know that it doesn't make sense. Some of the things that we are doing don't make sense. And we've got to protect the environment. We're too aware, we're too smart as a species to not understand that we have to take care of the environment. If we take care of the environment, then it takes care of us in a much better way. So that's very, very important. Your 45 is always in the news. He doesn't know whether it's herd mentality or herd immunity or herd development, but God knows we cannot listen to him. This is the thing that really concerns me, and then I'm going to get into something else. But the real thing that concerns me is that about 40% of the people in this country like him, follow him, are going to vote for him, and will let him get away with saying and doing just about anything. About 40% of the people in this country, and I think I mentioned this last week, but I'll say it again. So this is me. Doesn't have to be you, but this is me. I think that the folks that support Trump kind of fall into, some categories. Obviously, you have the wealthy folks that his policies help. The tax cuts that he gave, David, good morning. Tax cuts that he gave, that really just helped the rich and super rich. When he enacts policies that allow companies to pollute and not really protect the environment, that helps rich, wealthy business owners, corporate giants who own our government. So those folks support him. And then you've got people who are just dyed-in-the-wool Republicans. Now, just kind of mindless Republicans. I'm going to vote Republican. I'm not going to vote Democrat. I don't care who the candidate is, and I don't care what the policies are. I'm I've been brainwashed to think one way. Just an aside, I met a young man right before the last election, and he was just turning 20 or 21, just about to vote. And if you talk to him, he was a college student. If you talk to him, you could tell that he was fairly liberal for an Alabama young white guy. You know, really friendly, very intelligent. But he basically said, well, his family votes Republican. So we got a lot of folks that vote. They don't think about the ramification of their vote. They don't think about the policies of a party. They don't think about what's happening and why it and how it might affect them. They just vote a certain way. And then you've got people who are just foolish. And they see this bombastic, kind of out of the box, you know, they see this guy as a hero. I mean, let's just face it, there are a lot of folks that see this guy as a hero. Take off your mask. You know, so what? You know, we're gonna cure it. You know, I've done a great job. 2 million people might have died. 200,000 people. We're approaching 200,000 deaths. And folks are going to rallies without masks, coming to White House ceremonies without masks. Coming is one problem. Not wearing a mask is certainly something different. So that's, you know, I just, you know, I just don't know. It's a concern that we have as many people in our country that would support something like this. And I don't think that I am that far off base. You know, I'll admit I don't know everything. Nobody does. I've been wrong. I never thought Trump had a chance of winning. Never in a million years, even to win the Republican primary, to be the Republican candidate. Never thought that. And you're right, David, we forget how many people turned a blind eye to slavery and they went along. So anyway, we gotta, you know, we gotta do something. I was just thinking too about how, you know, we really have some economic principles out of whack. And I wanted to talk about that today. Our economic principles are a little bit out of whack because when you think about it, in a nation this rich, in a world this rich for that matter, but I'm going to focus on America, in a nation this rich, to have so many poor people is a social and moral scandal. It's a social and moral scandal that we have poverty in a nation with the billionaires and the billions of dollars and the technology and the productivity and all of the things that we have in this country and that we do in this country, all of the wealth that we've amassed in this country, to have people who are impoverished, to have people who don't have health care, to have people who aren't being well educated or as well educated as they want to be. It's sad. And so I thought about something I studied when I was in school. You know, you had serfs and you had lords. So I know, you know, maybe if you're not my age, you didn't study that, and they didn't talk about the feudal system where you had serfs and you had lords. And so the serf existed for the lord. The total existence of a serf was to serve his lord, his master, his owner, the property owner, the person he worked for. And so that's what we've kind of turned the American economy into being. In the last 50 years, we have been the most productive, our workers, the people that get up every day, go to work, create stuff, build stuff, do stuff. The American worker has been the most productive, most creative, and it's been in a time when fortunes have been made, but those fortunes hadn't been shared with the workers. It's sort of a feudal system where the serf exists for the lord. So I found this, and I just want to talk about it and make sure we think about the fact that our economic life needs to be guided by moral as well as biblical principles, moral as well as biblical principles. So just let me just hit on a couple of things, and I want to switch over to something else, and then I'm going to get out of here because I know some of you have to get to work, and I'm going to get back to celebrating my birthday. But when you think about the economy, does the economy exist for the person? It should. Or have we created a system where the person exists for the economy? In other words, in slavery, the slaves existed for the economy. You did your thing. You did what you were supposed to do. You did what you were told to do. You picked that cotton, you picked that tobacco, and the economy was great, but you were marginalized. You know, your existence contributed to the economy, but the economy didn't give you any benefit. Thank you for the birthday wish. You existed for the economy, but the economy didn't give you any benefit. And so I would like to submit that it should be the other way around. The economy should exist for the person. The economy ought to benefit all the contributors, not just the wealthy folks, not just the rich folks, not just the owners, not just the lords. Because in order to have lords, then you have to have serfs. And last time I checked, we weren't supposed to have serfs, Floyd, in our economy. And we also have to know that the way we treat the least of these is really what defines and describes who we are. See, the way we treat, the way we respect powerful folks and rich folks, yeah, you know, they get all the kudos, and they walk in a room and recognize them, and you know, and it's amazing that the more you have, the more you can get. And the flip side of that is, if you are poor, it's almost criminal. So we should really have an understanding that basic rights will say that a person has a right to food. A person has a right to, not just in healthy food, not just something to eat, not just the scraps. A person has a right to be sheltered and clothed. And in the 21st century in America, and again, in most parts of the world now, you ought to have a right to health care. You ought to have a right to a good education. You ought to have a right to a safe environment. In addition to that, you ought to have a right to be productive. And not only do we all have a right to be productive, truth be told, we have a responsibility to be productive. So we have this duty to work and to contribute, but the economy has a duty to take care of, protect, and allow us to flourish. And that's where we're missing the boat. That's where we're missing the boat. We don't have a situation where we care enough about people. And the last I checked, these people are considered our neighbors. These are our neighbors. These are our folks. And and it doesn't just mean they live on our block. It doesn't just mean that they live on our city. They're co-inhabitants of this creation, this world. And we are in a small part of it over here. Well, it's not a real small part if you think of the whole United States, but we're in small parts of it, but we're citizens of this world community. And so we have to understand that all of our other citizens are our neighbors, and our neighbors deserve our love. Love God with all your heart. This is biblical. The greatest commandment. Love God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. And so we can get back to where we need to be, and we can start heading in the direction that we need to go in. I think if we just employ that and we start thinking about how we treat the least of these, we start thinking about making sure that there is value that comes along with productivity. We start thinking about people have rights to basic necessities. We start decriminalizing folks for being poor and impoverished, and make sure that we take care of them and help them get out of poverty. Those are the things that we need to think about. So one other thing I was thinking, and I talk about this on the radio program tonight at a little more length. So, if you get a chance, 6 o'clock, check it out. But we keep having these variations of truth. I keep hearing politicians just get up and blatantly lie. The liar in chief is the one who's in the White House. And we've actually coined these phrases, and they get me. And this has happened over the past, I guess, decade. We said, well, she spoke her truth, and they spoke their truth, and he did his truth. Priscilla, good morning. Thank you. So I started thinking about this. Well, what is truth? What is truth? Is it my truth different from your truth? And can both of us have a truth? Or can all of us have a truth? And so, I think that we have to kind of dispel some things. Truthfulness is veracity. It's honesty. It's genuine. It's fact-based. It's reality. And it's constant. It's rock solid. It's constant. Dishonesty is false. So if you're honest, that's okay, true. Dishonest, false. Unrighteous, false. Righteous, true. Accurate, true. Inaccurate, false. Correct, true. Valid, authentic. That's what truth is. I think we've kind of blurred the lines, and not understanding that these lines are blurred has got us away from associating truth with facts. It's got us away from associating truth with authenticity. It's got us away from saying that the truth is what's real, and everything else cannot be true. And if it's not true, then it's false. It's false. And so the other thing that I was thinking was that, and I actually looked this up because I Googled, does truth have degrees? I don't mean PhDs and bachelor's degrees. Is there a degree of truth? And without getting into these quantum logic models, I just want to make sure that I just say that I believe that truth has nothing to do with circumstances. Truth does not have degrees. It has nothing to do with convenience or interpretation. Once again, when someone refers to his truth, her truth, their truth, my truth, well, I want to know if it's the truth. And the fact of the matter is, as Mr. Joe Biden normally likes to say, is we're being lied to big time. We're being lied to big time, and a lot of us are swallowing those lies and trying to mold them into some form of the truth. I mean, come on, we've been told or being told that we got a virus under control that's almost killed 200,000 people. But we've been told that it's under control. We've been told that somebody's stealing an election to try to get folks up in arms and erode the confidence that we have in our system. We were told by the Attorney General of the United States that there is no such thing as systemic racism. We were told that. And so when someone is lying to you, what do you do? I mean, if you know somebody's lying to you, you look them right in the face and they look you right in the face and they tell you a lie. Do you try to fix it in your mind, you know, and shape it and hone it and shave it and cut it and try to make it true? Do you still follow them? You know, do you still like them? You still back them up? When you heard the tape on television and then you heard the lie last night, is that somebody you still back up? When they're co-conspirators and the folks that they have in their camp get on TV and get on the news and tell you that you didn't hear what you just heard, that's not what you really heard. You just heard it, but they say that's not what you really heard. Then what do? Do you accept that as a version of the truth? We remember when Kellyanne Conway mentioned that there were alternative facts. There were alternative facts. 1 + 1 is 3. So that's an alternative fact. No, it's not. It's not a fact. And so what we need to require, what we need to expect, no, what we need to demand from elected officials, from business leaders, from corporate leaders, from folks who have control over our destiny is truth. Unabridged, unadulterated, not their truth. It's not my truth. It's not your truth. The truth. Hey, have a great day. This is Bob Dickerson with In the Black.